So this week, what you will be working on in addition to your exit ticket is, and don't forget your cover letter is due. Is that next? Yeah, again. So yeah, don't worry, pump the brakes, don't worry. And remember, if life is crazy, just email me and let me know. But we're looking for at least, let's go with 3 objectives. So I had you work on 4 standards for your deconstruction. One of them was ELD. The other 3 should have been something else, probably very interdisciplinary. And so I want you to think about writing your objectives. So the objectives come pretty easily once you have the standards deconstructed. What you will need to do is essentially every objective will start with students will be able to. So the objective is you identifying what you want students to be able to do within the span of your lesson. And it must be measurable. Measurable meaning that you can assess it somehow. And so the way that we write objectives that are measurable is we utilize verbs from, anybody starts with a B, ends with an onomy? No?
Is it the wheel?
Yes, the wheel, right. So the wheel is what Megan thinks Megan is referring to is Bloom's taxonomy. And I have actually posted, okay, hold on. Here I go, and let me go back. Holy moly, it's hot and my fan is not working. Okay, so I've posted here for y'all. Let me move this one down. So this was from last week. I said preview, so I'll move this down here. Move this down here. And we'll change this from preview to FYI, like not preview, obviously. So you have these 2 resources. You can use either one. They both kind of serve slightly different functions, but they both, again, also are similar in the fact that they are both essentially Bloom's taxonomy. So first I'm going to show you this one. It should load here, and if it doesn't, you can just click there and open the PDF and download it. So essentially, folks, let me see if I can move this over, is when you're writing an objective, you need to use, like I said, a measurable verb. And so here is where you can actually find the measurable verbs that you need to write your objectives. So if I say, like you can see here, my kindergarten standard was construct maps and models of neighborhoods. So this was the knowledge, or sorry, this is the skill, construct maps and models of neighborhoods that a student is needing to learn regarding this standard. And of course, within that, the knowledge is that they have to know about these structures, which represent important pieces of society. So kindergartners learn a lot about like how society's set up. Think about it, like Erickson's developmental, what is that? Social development from Erik Erikson. Like little teeny humans have a really, like they exist within themselves. And so, you know, it's that next step of helping them understand their world. If you've seen the Me on the Map activity or lesson plan before, it's very common in kindergarten, specifically because of this standard. So I wrote a standard here where I said students will be able to, and because it says construct maps and models of neighborhoods, essentially you want to think about what you're asking for students to do within your lesson plan. So construct models, right? Again, what was the wording? Construct maps and models, so construct. So if I look here, I can look at the wheel as well, but I'm looking here right now. Where do I see construct as a verb? Does anyone see construct in front of me?
It's under creating.
That's right. Thank you, Alex. So right here, construct. So asking students to construct, which is directly from the standard, is essentially you're asking them to create. You're asking them to compile information together in a different way by combining elements in a new pattern or proposing new solutions. So this would be specifically elements in a new pattern, because you're asking them to take real life and create, like, with spatial awareness and understanding, and construct a map based on real life. And so here, what I want to point out is that this is what you can see here. It's level 6. Okay, I just learned how to do this recently. Okay, let me see. Draw and do this. Okay, watch. Watch, friends. So here, these 3 on this side, see my highlight, hopefully. These 3 on this side are what we call, like, I don't know, me and the people that I've worked with, we call these hot skills, H-O-T, hot. And on this other side, we call these, oopsie daisies, give me my draw tool, por favor. Hey, where'd it go? Sorry, don't panic, Dr. Drake, don't panic. Mouse, draw, line. Yes, got it, okay, sorry. This side, these friends over here, are what we call L-O-T skills. Does anyone have a guess? What does the L-O-T or the H-O-T stand for? If I go like this, and then, oh, I'm struggling with my life. I'm sorry. Oops. Ugh. Do you see what I did there? I drew a diagonal line, and what are they doing? What's the line doing?
Going upward.
Yes, thank you, Megan. It's going upward. So from this side is lower, and this side is higher. So essentially what these 2 refer to is lower order thinking, higher order thinking. So this is a recognition of the fact that asking a student to construct is a higher order thinking skill that they're going to have to go through, rather than something like asking students to simply, why do you not like me? Asking students to recall is a common one, right? Or list, what are the 50 capitals of the United States? That's a lower order thinking skill, because you're only asking them to remember something. Versus, like I said over here, asking a student to construct or create something is going to be a higher order thinking skill. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Let me clear that off, clear my drawings. And so again, then if I go back, goodbye draw tool, that was fun. And so again, if I go back, if I can move this around, bear with. Students will be able to draw a model of their local community, or, you know, based on this, I could say create, or I could say design, but I'm still holding to that construct. So you can use the verb that is present within the standard, or you can use it to kind of understand where it sits from lower order to higher order thinking. And use a verb within that same area. So I would like to now point you over to the wheel, which Megan mentioned. And again, they're doing the same thing, they're just a little bit different formatting, but you're gonna see this looks very similar. Can I make this bigger? Yes, I can. Let me bring it over here so I can make it bigger, 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 bigger. So this wheel is doing essentially the same thing. Y'all see it? So here's the same. Remember, understand, apply. So here are my lower order thinking, and then analyze, evaluate, create. Here's my higher order thinking skills. What I like about this wheel when it comes to writing objectives is that it gives you not just verbs that would fit within this area, but it actually points you to a strategy or an activity that might apply to the verb that you chose. So it's almost giving you a hint towards what you could use for an assessment which is next week, so don't worry about it. But again, if I'm living over here with this objective that I wrote in my example, then students will be able to, design a map of their local neighborhood. And so here's some of the ways that maybe this knowledge, besides just like, oh, draw this, could be assessed. So it's a project, right? Essentially, you could call it a project. You could also call it something where they actually are doing data collection. So the activities leading up to that drawing or that creation of the map are essentially data collection. They'd have to look at maps online or go for a walk with an adult and see where the big, those pieces of knowledge that are in the standard are within their neighborhood. So where are the churches? Where are the police stations? Where are the grocery stores? Where are the fire departments? So I hope that now I'm going to go ahead and let anybody ask any questions that they have when it comes to writing an objective. As long as you say students will be able to, and you choose a verb that is on either one of those resources and then have a little activity of how they do that verb, you're on the right track. Please do not, I'll repeat, please do not write students will be able to understand, how to draw a map. You can't measure if students can understand. Like, how do you know they understand? What tells you they understand? They told you they understand? No, well, they showed me they understood. Well, how did they show you? Oh, they drew a map. So no, it's not they will be able to understand. Students will be able to draw a map. Does that kind of make sense how that is? This is just cut and dry, the easiest way that I can explain how objectives should be written. I will underneath, let me see here, going back over here. Am I still screen sharing? No, I'm not. No, I am. When am I screen sharing? It says it's paused. I don't know. My life is, I'm so confused. Okay, so when you're writing your lesson plan for this class, because you all are multiple subject credential people, right? You're liberal studies, you're not yet in the credential program, but you're liberal studies, which means you have learned different subject matter. So the point of this class is for me to be able to help you start understanding how to create interdisciplinary lesson plans. That means you're pulling from multiple disciplines and creating one lesson. And so to answer your question, every lesson should have an ELD lesson or an ELD standard. Why? Because we need to make sure we're providing support to our emerging bilinguals. Other than that, you have the choice of 3 standards that you can choose. They should not be from one area, those 3. So you should not have 3 from English, or you should not have 3 only from PE, or 3 only from the health standards. It needs to be interdisciplinary. So it could be, of course, 1 ELD is a given, so I'm not going to say that. 1 from science, 1 from math, and 1 ELA because they're doing speaking and listening, and there's speaking and listening standards in ELA. It could be 2 history and social science standards and 1 health standard. So is that a little bit clearer for that?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.